Hi, welcome. I am making this recording because we were unfortunately not able to have a meeting today. So I'm making this quick recording for today's lesson. Um, so we'll go ahead and get started. So, what is your favorite season? Obviously, we're not in the meeting, but you could still feel free to answer. Is it summer, fall, or spring, fall, summer, and winter? Personally, I would have to say my favorite is probably winter. That's probably my favorite season. Just because I've always loved Christmas and getting to see the decorations, driving around, seeing all the lights, and the snow. It's just really nice. So I would have to say winter is probably my favorite season. But I know we're not in the meeting, so just feel free to answer. Um, But we'll go ahead and get started with the lesson today. So, today's agenda we have our warm up, grammar tenses, ed puzzle, and then our wrap up. So, today's lesson is about grammar again. So, we have our warm up, which is future tense. Do you think it's we will get ice cream now, we will get ice cream tomorrow, or we got ice cream yesterday? Feel free to pause the video and answer the question, and then I'll pause it when you're ready. So here the answer would be the second one. It would be we will get ice cream tomorrow. We will get ice cream now is considered present tense, and we will get ice cream yesterday is considered past tense. So Stitch would be the correct one. That would be considered future tense. So next we're going to go ahead and get started with our grammar tenses lesson. So grammar tenses. So there are three types. There is past, which is known as past simple, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. Then there is present, which has present simple, present continuous, present perfect continuous. And then there's future, future simple, future continuous, future perfect, and then future perfect continuous. So, here we have like a little table and we have present simple. And present simple is basically a fact, habit, and schedule. So here you have fact, habit, and schedule on the little table. So simple definitions. You have fact, which facts are things that are always true. You have habit. Habits are actions that happen regularly. You have schedule, a plan of things to be done and the time when they will be done. So some examples. So fact, water boils at 100 Celsius, 100 degrees Celsius. Habit, she studies every day, and then schedule on weekends we play soccer. So these are just some examples, and we have more examples. So we have a fact, the earth is round, a habit, they jog in the park every morning, and then the schedule. The bus arrives every 15 minutes. And next we have our present continuous, which is known as an action happening as we speak. So, um, hmm, some examples are I am eating breakfast, she is reading a book, or he is studying for exams, or some uh, well known examples. Then we have more, she is preparing dinner for her family while listening to music. I also do that. I am writing a letter to my friend who lives in another country, and then we are waiting for the bus. Are some more examples. Next, we have present perfect, which is using past experience to describe who the subject is now. Um, so for present perfect, some examples would be, this slide ever changes. Here we go. So some examples: I have studied English for years. She has eaten breakfast already, and he has lived there all his life. Are some good examples. And then some more are: they have never been to Mexico. He has read that book already, and I have finished my homework. Next, we have present perfect continuous, which is a PPC that talks about an action. So present perfect continuous is also short for PPC. It's like an abbreviation. And it talks about an action that started in the past and continues nonstop towards the present. And some examples for that would be: I have been studying Spanish for 8 years. He has been sleeping for 12 hours. That is a pretty long time. And then they have been traveling for 5 weeks. Are just some good examples for PPC. Another one would be: she has been working 2 jobs since February. They have been playing soccer all afternoon, and we have been waiting for the bus for 20 minutes. So next we have past simple, which is known as an action that started in the past and finished in the past. So some examples for past simple would be: um, she worked last night. Um, he ate eggs for breakfast, and I lived in Chicago when I was a child. And then, of course, we have some more examples. I watched a movie last night. He went to the store and they cleaned their room. Or just some more simple examples. Next, you have past continuous. It is to describe an action that continued over a period of time in the past. We usually use this tense to give content or background. So, some examples: I was studying when the phone rang. We were living in Canada when we got engaged, and then he was running when we caught the ball. Some more examples would be: were you studying when the power went out? You were not listening to the teacher. That happens a lot with students, believe it or not. And then I was watching TV when you called. So those are just past examples. And then past perfect, it is used to describe an action that was completed before another action in the past. This tense also is used to provide context for another action in the past, but the past perfect always comes beforehand. So some past perfect examples would be: Sarah had already left by the time you got home. She had finished her homework before dinner, and you had not met him until yesterday. And then we also had they left when you called, had she seen the movie before, and had she seen that movie before. Or I had seen that movie before, sorry. Um, then we have past perfect continuous. This is to describe an action that continues over time and then stopped at the moment of another action. So some examples would be: I had been watching TV when the power went out. She had been talking about going to France for years and finally decided to go. You had not been paying attention during the meeting. She had been studying for hours before the exam started. Had you been waiting long before the bus arrived? And they had been living in that house for more than 10 years before they moved. Then we have future simple. And this is to talk about an action that we believe will happen in the future. So some great examples for this would be I will call you tomorrow, we'll bring cupcakes to the party, and he'll be there by 6 p.m. Some more would be she will start her new job tomorrow, he will not attend the meeting, and will they join us for dinner? Next, we have future continuous. This is to talk about an action we believe will continue over a period of time in the future. So some examples would be we will be eating dinner from 6 to 7 p.m. I'll be running errands all afternoon, and they're going to be traveling all summer. Some more examples would be we will not be going to the party. Will she be visiting her grandparents next month? And I will be traveling to New York next week. Next, we have future perfect. These are actions that will be finished by a certain time in the future. So some examples would be she will have moved to a new apartment before the end of the year. She will have left before we got there. Or will she had okay, that doesn't make any sense. Will she have left? Never mind. Will she have left before we got there? And you will not have arrived by the time the movie starts. And then, last but not least, we have future perfect continuous. It is a continuous action that will be completed over a given time in the future. So, of course, some great examples for future perfect continuous would be he will have been driving for 6 hours straight when he arrives. We will have been living in Los Angeles for a decade this December, and you will not have been waiting for long before the bus arrives. Some more examples would be will he have been cooking for an hour before the guest arrived? Will you have been working for here for 10 years by next year? She will have been studying for her exams for 3 weeks by the time. I can't see that last word. It is being blocked. By the time they start, there we go. It finally went away. It was blocking the next slide button. So, last but not least, we were gonna have an ed puzzle, but because you were not in the meeting, I will put the ed puzzle in our Canvas link. That way you have it. So I'll make sure to add that. So we'll skip the ed puzzle in the meeting, and I will put the link in the class for you. Last but not least, we have our wrap up. So our wrap up. I wants to write an essay. I wanted to write an essays, or I want to write an essay. Please feel free to pause the video, take some time to answer the question, and then come back when you have an answer. So, welcome back. The answer would be I want to write an essay. So, if you chose the third one, also known as Rebel, then congratulations, you got it right. You were correct. So, as always, that brings us to the end of the meeting. If you have any questions, please, please feel free to reach out. Some overdue activities are lesson 9, romantic poetry, and lesson 10, survey. If you have not completed these yet, please get them done as soon as possible. They are very important. Um, As always, I will show you where you can find these activities if my computer ever loads. It's taking forever. So I want to see if it'll load anytime soon. Okay, it finally loaded. Finally, thank you Jesus, it finally loaded. Okay. So What is going on with this? Oh my gosh, StreamYard is acting up right now. There we go. StreamYard was doing all this weird stuff and I could not see anything. But I finally got our classroom pulled up. so, okay, there we go. So as always, where can you find these activities? Well, go to assignments. And of course, you're in our mini group class. So if these ever load, then I can show them to you. There we go. Okay, so I will make sure to publish our topic of lesson 11, which is grammar tenses. But you can find, okay, so you've already done our lesson 7 and lesson 6 activities. So we didn't have one for lesson 8, but for lesson 9, the romantic poetry activity. That is one that has to be completed. It is a very important one. Um, hmm. Man, this computer is running really slow today. What is going on? Okay, so when you get onto here, you will see the romantic poetry activity. It was due on February 15th, so it is already counted as overdue. But you use this slide to help you on the quiz. So if you click on it, some slides will pop up and it'll basically help you answer all questions. And then lesson 9 romantic poetry quiz here. And then I'll show you where you can also find your lesson 10 assignment. So lesson 10, it is under grammar error sentences. And it is just a quick survey. It is very simple. It is very easy. It should only take you like 5 minutes to complete this. And this is a survey for you to fill out, letting me know how I've been doing on these lessons. Please feel free to be honest. That way the survey can help me improve. And you just click the word here in order to get the survey. That's all you do. So where it says click here for the survey, you just click on the word here. But that is where you can find your assignments. I will post lesson 11. I will post the Edpuzzle. But if you have not completed these, then please do so as soon as possible. I know you're probably wondering, why do I have to do them? But these are just so I can make sure that you've maintained and you've understood the content that we've been going through. So then I know if we have to spend another week or two on that lesson or if we're good to move on to a different one. So if you could please complete those are some overdue activities. Get them done as soon as possible. I will check every day to see if they've been submitted. If not, I will unfortunately have to send out an email to you. So please just make sure you get those done. And then our quote of the day: learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. I think that is a very great and inspirational quote. And then, of course, I know you're probably wondering, when is our next meeting and what will we be discussing? Oh, and another great thing about the survey is there is a question on there that'll ask you what topics you want to go over the next couple of weeks. Please make sure you answer that question. If there are certain topics you want to discuss, let me know so then that way we can discuss those topics. But our next class will be Friday, March 7th. Our topic will be The Telltale Heart. It is by Edgar Allan Poe. It is one of my favorite stories, and he is just such a great writer, Edgar Allan Poe. And The Telltale Heart is one of his well-known stories. So I'm really excited to go over that one. It is going to be a great week next week. I will see you next Friday on March 7th. As always, if you have any questions, you have my email, you have my phone number, or not my phone number, my Instagram. Please, please get in contact with me. Please complete those overdue activities. I would really appreciate it. That way I can make sure how you that you maintain the stuff we discussed in our romantic poetry, and also I can see the lesson 10 survey so I know how I can improve how you enjoyed the lesson, and what else you would like to learn over the next couple of weeks in Engine, in our English sessions. But that is about it. That is everything I have for you. I will make sure to post this recording. I will make sure to post the PowerPoint and our Lesson 11 survey and the Ed puzzle all on Canvas under our Lesson 11 topic. If you have any questions, please reach out, and I will see you next Friday in our next meeting. I'm really excited for that. It is going to be a great meeting. So I hope you can make it, and I'll see you later. Bye.